Fire for me was the first interference with our environment.
Oh, you've been there when they discovered fire.
Well, I was the one actually. I'm not proud of this one. I told them look guys, it's a very dangerous technology, etc.
Yeah, be careful with that.
Yeah.
I know where it's going.
Okay. So, hello guys, and welcome to this pilot episode for Ecosystemic, our new podcast. With me today, the one and only guest I could have today.
His co-founder.
Yeah. So, this first pilot, it's unscripted. We don't have, you're not a guest. I would not interview you, but it will be a back and forth discussion. Like the ones we have usually, that give us this idea. We like to meet great people that are working hard to improve our daily life.
Mm-hmm.
Have discussions. And we said, okay, let's have a camera, mics, some lights, and capture their ideas, their vision, etc., and share it with the world. So today I will capture your ideas and share them with the world.
Oh man.
Sorry for you. Well, we co-founded Control Energy. You can check it, control.energy. Self-promotion is always good. It's free promotion.
Oh, and the link is showing here. Or maybe, I don't know. But always wanted to say that.
Click on the link below. Like and subscribe.
Yeah, and hit the share button. Always wanted to say that again.
So, Control Energy, simply put, we are on a mission to bring clean, sustainable energy to everyone, everywhere. Behind these big words, it's really simple. We noticed that the weakness in this value chain is batteries. So we built the ultimate battery to tackle this problem with Lipo. Maybe you can say a few words about Lipo?
Yeah, definitely. Lipo is the first entirely modular batteries that are 100% recyclable, and they can power anything from your phones to your house. I guess that's the entire scale of the Lipo applications range.
And they are Lego-like, super small in scale. They are reusable. They can recognize many chemistries, etc. We won't go deep inside these. The link is also below. And our assistant is holding two. You can see how big they are. So thank you, assistant. Regarding ecosystemic, you see how we are developing as a species and the technology, etc. Where do you see it heading? Okay, would that be an end to it?
Well, that escalated a bit quickly. We were talking about Lipo and switched to how we are growing as a species
and how we are ruining our planet.
Yes, speaking about that, yes, we are definitely ruining our planet and working in Control Energy and the Lipo projects and all the work that have been done on it and work that is ahead made me realize a lot of things actually, that we are not consuming energy how we should be consuming energy. We have a lot of energy, and the entire beings on the planet feel the need to have more energy. We are producing actually a lot of energy, and we always need more and more and more energy. And there's probably a reason to that, because we are having new devices and laptops and, everything that is working with energy is going to advanced enough level to consume not that much energy. We are consuming less and less energy. Our devices are made in a way to work with less voltages and less currents. And we are charging our phones also with a smart way, like the power delivery that is not entirely converting the constant current it's receiving, which is interesting. We are consuming in a dumb manner. We have bad habits. We have very bad habits, and we are building our energy habits on those bad habits. For example, one of the most important things I started doing since the Control Energy project is unplugging my laptop from the wall when I finish using it. And I do the same with my phone and everything that needs, to be plugged, to be recharged. And most of the time, and I will say it, I was lazy enough to have a laptop charger plugged at my house and the exact same laptop charger plugged at my desk office just because I was too lazy, to unplug it from here and plug it there. I was living my life like, oh, I can go there and just plug my laptop because the charger is already on the wall and I have just, the jack plug to, power my laptop. And if I want to go to my office, I just have to unplug it, go to my office, and I have a plug that is ready on the wall. But what I was doing, having two laptop chargers plugged to my wall, is that I was consuming twice. Yes, some chargers are smart enough to reduce their energy consumption if nothing is plugged to them. Even if they are smart enough to do that, they still need power to power themselves to, sensor and check if something is plugged to them. And even if it's very small amount of energy they consume, if nothing's plugged to them, if you multiply that by, million people, 2 million, 500 million people, maybe billion people that is doing the exact same thing as me, and I know that there's a lot of people doing it, I'm not feeling alone at all by having this kind of bad habits. It's not becoming a lot of energy consumed, just being thrown in the air, being transformed into heat and goes into the atmosphere. And that's very bad for the planet. I mean, at so many levels. So just by changing this kind of behaviors, and I believe with Control Energy and the Ecosystemic podcast, it's also our mission to, raise awareness about this kind of habits and this kind, because that is a solution to the energy problem. It's not gonna, change like 100% of the energy situation, but it's gonna maybe reduce the critical state of the energy situation by maybe 30%. Let's be, positive about it.
Okay. And you say something about our devices that are being smarter, consuming less and less energy, etc. But don't you think that this is just the case when we take a small time scale? At a bigger time scale, we see, for example, the first computers were huge. Their batteries were huge, but they are ridiculously weak compared to today's batteries. And then we had a leap in technology. Computers get smaller, batteries get smaller, but they are sucking more energy because the need of device was bigger than the first,
Yes.
etc., etc. And today we are still in the same kind of technology leap. And when we jump to the next one, I don't know, let's say maybe in 10, 20 years, we will have like maybe holographic devices that will consume way more than our smartphones. And then these devices will get better and better and better.
I'm sorry, we will not have holographic displays. We'll have bigger cyber trucks. That was something when I was younger. I was thinking, like, we want to be old and it will be, 2024, 25, and we will have flying vehicles. Well, no, we have cyber trucks. Very ugly electric vehicles
that you can actually break with steel ball.
Yeah, definitely. Hi, Ellen.
On the other side, true, we are lazy, and sometimes I feel some guilt because I feel like, okay, we are with technology feeding this laziness. We talk about the vampire energy that is present in our chargers when they remain unplugged. One of our features is to solve this issue. So we are somehow feeding the laziness with technology. Do you think that it's like a virtuous habit to save us with technology that does things on our behalf, even for like the simplest stuff, like, unplugging your charger?
Well, yeah, that's definitely something ethical to discuss. And it's entirely another debate about technology serving us and turning us into, lazy zombies
We are already.
Yeah, and some products that proliferated in the markets today, some of them are horrifying when you look at them in the energy spectrum. And one of them is the wireless earbuds. When you look at that, it's horrifying.
Why?
Because you have a box that has a battery inside, and there's two earbuds, which also each one of them has a battery. And to use them, you have to recharge the box. And for that, you plug it to the wall with a transformer, the main wall plug. You charge like USB-C or whatever it is. That is transforming in the first time the wall AC, 220, 110 volts, is turning it into probably 5 volts, 2 amps or something to recharge the box. And you lose a bunch of energy in that process because, converting energy is not perfect and you will lose like 2%, 5% or something. And then the box will charge the earbuds. That's the second time. That's the third time it will transform again energy because the battery that is inside the earbuds is 3 volts, I think, 3.7, 3.3 volts, something like that. And they need to transform it again to charge the earbuds. So that's the third time. First time is the wall plug. Second time is the box. And the third time is to the earbuds. And each time you are charging one to the other to use it, you are losing 2% for 5% of energy.
Yeah.
And that's horrifying. Because, okay, if I'm the only one in the universe that has wireless earbuds, well, first I will be rich. And second time, it's not that important because comparing it to what the Earth produces in energy is ridiculous.
Mhm.
But there's millions and billions of people that has wireless earbuds.
Yeah.
And each one of them, charging them from the wall to the box and then to the earbuds, it's every time losing 2%, 3% of energy and multiply that to all the people that is using earbuds.
Yes, but
That's horrifying.
yeah, but they remain cool.
Yeah, but
You
you can
want to run with wires.
don't do it. Just
Don't run.
not run, but listen to the birds or something. Look at the people at the park. I don't know. Find something. Something. Imagine stuff. Imagine the music in your ears. I'm sorry. That's definitely, yes, they are useful when you're running, etc. But you can also have, one headset. Headsets are, it's okay. They have a battery and you plug them to the wall and you are losing, a bunch of energy one time. But, having the box and the stuff inside, etc. Honestly, I like music. I'm a big fan of music and I've had a lot of wireless earbuds. All of them have been offered to me. I've never bought some because, having music, through the wires is definitely much better. You will never see, go into a studio or something. You will never see a big producer, working on something and they have wireless earbuds. They don't do that because
Except if it's Dr. Dre and he's using Beats by Dre. Oh, no, he sold the brand, so not relevant anymore.
And he is being filmed while he's doing that.
Yeah, exactly. And
how strange.
Yeah, and you have like a wide view on the brand, etc. But okay, no harsh feeling, Dre. We love your music. So
me too. Yeah, so you can have wireless stuff. I mean, I have nothing against wireless earbuds, but yes, that's looking at them from the energy spectrum is horrifying.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of laziness we are having because of technology today. Maybe, we should look at it differently. And I'm not saying we should not use wireless earbuds, but well, maybe we should use them in situations like running.
Yeah.
And not just being lazy, in the subway with your phone, watching TikToks and having you can use earbuds with wires. That's okay.
Yeah. And, but, we always have these discussions when we develop some new feature, etc., where, okay, we want to implement something smart, and then we find out, okay, just preventing people from pushing a button.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, come on, man, like they can push the button and that's it. So we don't need to build some, like, algorithm that will sense with some sensors, some logical triggers to do the action on the behalf of people. Okay, sometimes it's useful, but sometimes it's just dumb. Like, okay, we are implementing more stuff in our devices, implementing more features, and these features, they don't work and they don't come out of thin air. It's like sensors, code that, and people may not understand that the more complex the code is, the more energy it consumes to run. And the more complexity we add to our device to prevent, and well, we are not bad actor in this game because we tend to optimize what we do. But sometimes we see some devices that are just here to prevent you from pushing a button or turning a switch or doing stuff like this.
Yeah. So many people are just happy to see their garage door opening automatically when they get to their house. While they can just push the remote button.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, and one of the dumbest examples, I saw drop shipping influencer promoting, salt and pepper stuff on batteries.
No way.
Yeah, with LED. And I was like, okay, what the hell? Like, you need to plug them to their USB-C just to have some random LED. Okay, we are not a good example. Speaking of random colored LED. But when you are putting like salt and pepper on your food, instead of doing like the simple movement that you can do.
Yeah, you have to just push the button. And you have to not even pushing the button, just swap them.
Yeah, swap it. And you have.
That means there's, some kind of gyroscopic sensor inside, and that's consuming a lot of energy because it's constantly sensing if it's on this side or on this side.
Yeah.
No way.
And I was thinking, okay, like, NASA in like the 60s would dream to have the technology that is inside these salt and pepper boxes.
Yeah, we've sent, aerospace vehicles in this space with something that is less powerful than an iPhone 6. That's incredible. And when you think about how hard it was to make the energy that you will use to, recharge the salt and pepper automatic stuff, that's definitely also horrifying to me.
Same thing goes with this, tendency doing things faster. Like, for example, okay, we have this illusion of saving time. For example, I had this discussion with somebody that was super happy to see like EVs being charged in a matter of minutes. They're like, okay, it's a game changer. Everybody will adopt it, etc. But in reality, charging faster means killing the battery faster.
Yeah.
And I told him, like, I'm not a big fan of this technology. And I would rather push for swipeable batteries that are faster. Like the battery is charging in a dock in the station. You get there, the dock.
Like the best we can get with the current technology.
Exactly. The battery is taken out of your vehicle, a new one is placed, and that's it. And you are good to go in a matter of seconds, not a minute. And I told him, no, you don't understand, etc. It saves a lot of time. And the guy lost like 1 hour swiping on videos. So we have this illusion of saving time and running after time, when in reality, we waste a lot of time in less useful things. Yep. And we don't dig deeper to see what's the impact of this technology. And okay, that's perfect transition for why ecosystemic, because we take the technology for granted. We see the superficial advantage for ourselves. But we don't think of a bigger scale and a bigger time frame. I don't know if it's the case for you, but I always saw the planet being with a human hand. When I was a kid, I don't do it anymore. So I don't think like it's a human hand. And we were like, small ants or microbes running on the surface.
Yeah.
As long as we were just running like hunter gatherers, it was optimized for us. We took what was available. We took our food from nature, lived in caves, and as soon as we discovered fire, we screwed things up. Fire for me was the first interference with our environment.
Oh, you've been there when they discovered fire.
Well, I was the one actually. Like, I'm not proud of this one. I told them, like, look, guys, it's a very dangerous technology, etc.
Yeah, be careful with that.
Yeah.
I know where it's going.
And yeah, same thing for gunpowder. I told them, like, okay, it makes like nice fireworks, and
Yeah, just don't put projectiles in that. It's not gonna end well.
yeah, they use it to kill each other. I'm like, I'm sorry, it's not my fault, but now it's too late. Like, the clock started ticking from that moment where somebody burned something. And since that moment, we are improving and improving, etc. Whether we did it ourselves or somebody help us, that's a debate that we would not have on this channel. You have other channels to do it. But it's almost impossible to put a stop and say, okay, no more technology, guys. Let's go back to caves. On the other hand, from one hand, we talk about safety, security of technology, that, when we have something new, we take it seriously. You have deep studies, etc., before implementations. But every time we implement something new, 50 years, 100 years later, we found out, okay, we screwed.
Yeah.
And we had some bad effects that we didn't see. And it covers everything, from a fossil fuel, plastic, vehicles, electricity, water, etc., etc. And we need to duct tape the mess because it's too late to undo things. Now, with our knowledge, our learning curve, because we saw these things messed up for like centuries now, we can do things differently and we can take one step ahead. Take in consideration, okay, this new technology, I saw like some startup announcing small nuclear button backs.
Oh, yeah.
And that looks like great on paper. You can say, okay, I'll put one 3.7 volt nuclear battery inside the device and have it, running forever or, for my lifetime.
Mm.
But what are the side effects of these batteries?
You get skin cancer.
Yeah.
Don't drop it.
Yeah. And don't try to eat it.
Don't try to eat it. Yeah. You probably remember when we were young and, playing video games that were working with batteries, and you have your batteries are highly depleted. You munching them.
Yeah.
And that was very dangerous. We were munching the batteries, put them back in your console, and that works back.
Yeah.
I like do that with the nuclear battery because you will end with a third arm or something.
That would be great.
More video games.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I remember I used to do it on my Game Boy. Do you remember we grew up in Algeria and we had this one brand. It was like Chinese disposable batteries with a tiger.
Oh, yes. Oh my God. The white one and the tiger was red inside.
Yes, exactly. Even like,
not the most delicious one.
Yeah, like the sleeve was not even on plastic. It was like some paper.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when you chew them, you have this kind of metallic taste, and you had some electrolytes in your mouth. Yeah. And I also tried freezing them.
No way.
Yeah, and the combo of, chewing them and freezing them works terrific. No, don't do it at home. You need to be a professional working in energy.
Mercury and cadmium ice cubes, delicious. That one, it's summer. Munch some batteries, put them on your fridge. Don't try that. Yeah, don't try that at home or anywhere else. Don't try that.
And so for you, what will be the solution? I will get back to this first question I started with. Like, do you think that we will get to an end in our technology development, where we say, okay, guys, we fulfilled all our needs. We had everything we want. It's super efficient. Let's stop there and like enjoy the show. Or no, we would always push for further and further and further.
I think we are already at an end, because if just look at, the smartphones market, we are having, new smartphones each year, new references, etc. But if you look closer to this new models, etc., there's not such a big difference between them and the present and the previous models. You're having, bigger cameras, bigger screens, but you're not having bigger batteries. This, to me, is a serious sign about what technology is serving us with and how it's behaving with our ability to produce energy. And if we want, if we want a solution to this, we could have bigger batteries. We are making batteries and we are selling batteries, and we've spent the last 4 or 5 years develop these new batteries, work on Lipo. And yes, it's good to have bigger batteries and modular batteries, but this is only good for the planets. I mean, it's definitely doing good to us too, since we are living on this planet and we are the ones that are consuming this energy. And our batteries, the Lipo batteries, are also giving you energy in a smarter way. If you forget to unplug your chargers, etc., they cut the energy for you. But if we do not start to have better habits consuming our energy and consuming our technology, this will probably put a definitive full stop to it, in my very own opinion, because we will arrive at some point where we will not be able to supply our need. We are living in a very hot country, and having air conditioning is almost a basic need, because it might be 40 degrees outside, and you may melt if you go outside and spend the day outside. While in some countries, they are telling to people, wait, don't put your air conditioning too high, etc., because, that is consuming a lot of energy. While we have, let me say it, stupid artificial intelligences that are doing very random things that are nothing but, proof of concepts of stuff that nobody asked for, and that definitely not basic needs, that are crunching and munching hundreds and thousands of kilojoules and megawatts of energy to run. Let's say it again. We have people that are listening to music on YouTube, not on YouTube Music, but on YouTube.
On 4K.
On 4K, yeah. You are just, people are driving their cars and they have their music running on YouTube, and their phone is just, shoved inside mug support or stuff. And there's even nobody looking at it. And it's it's loading on 4K.
Guilty. Not 4K, but happens to me to have.
That's because you don't have, the fastest. But people don't realize that the stream of video that your phone is requesting to the servers is pushing them to consume more energy.
Yep.
Just, that's basic reflexes. I mean, for our generation, something that everyone can do, changing just, listening to music, just put in on 144. That will not change the audio quality. That will change the video quality, and that will request less resources from the servers.
Yeah.
And if you do that, maybe at some point, YouTube reduce the ads on videos, because it's gonna cost less to have YouTube servers running.
Do you think so?
Yeah, maybe.
Seriously?
No, I don't think so. But that's a good marketing point.
Yeah.
If people believe it, it's gonna do good to the planet.
And, getting back to smartphones, how I see or feel that we are at the end of a trend. For me, like smartphones, as you say, they didn't change that much.
Yep.
They are So like if we take like the Apple iPhone, if you take like the 14 and the 15,
Android manage way better the battery life. That's
and,
smart.
and the difference is pretty much ridiculous. And how how I saw that we are at the end of a trend and that smartphones are reaching their limit. When you see manufacturers starting to get like some mean moves to make you pay more, removing the charger, removing the jack plug, etc.
Memory card slots.
Exactly. So you will need to pay more for stuff that you used to have as a bundle for free before. And even for sometimes they will, reduce their cloud capacity and push you a subscription for their cloud capacity, things like this. So you feel like, okay, they are not innovating enough to create a new leap in the technology and a big wall, like, moving from your Nokia, dumb phone to a first smartphone was a big leap.
Yeah.
Now, okay, like from one to the other, you are improving the screen, like, telling me that it's 4K on a small screen, it's ridiculous. I can't see the difference. You tell me that, the camera is X megapixels, etc. My eyes can see the megapixels that are added. And, my eyes can see like 16 million colors. If you put 32 million colors, I would not see the difference.
Yeah.
So definitely not worth it. And it's just for marketing.
Yeah.
And I think also that's why so many manufacturers are bullish on AI. And I saw, for example, the latest laptops, AI enabled.
Yeah.
And you know what's the difference between a laptop that you bought pre-AI enablement and post-AI enablement? They added a button to launch your AI. Just like you can't, scroll and click, etc. So they added like a shortcut. Things that you can do with, any shortcut editor or something, and you can add, okay, Control B is my.
You can keybind anything. Just, yeah, as you're saying, just add the shortcut to your favorite AI, whatever it is.
And that's it.
Just make sure it's not a dumb AI.
Yeah. And they are pushing this. For me, it's a lack of innovation. So they join the train of AI movement because there is no more things to improve in a smartphone. They tried the foldable. It's not such a breakthrough. Like, the foldables didn't become the norm. And that's it. I think like the latest wall effect, well, it's a big word, but was the foldable screens.
They tried. They sold millions of them, and they are all broken today. I mean, I don't know much of people that still have the, foldable screen smartphone. Speaking about, energy and the impact of technology on energy and vice versa, what I think, you've asked me if I think if there's an endpoint to it, and if the endpoint is a dead end, well, I think that we are not, as consumers, the biggest energy enemy. I think that marketing team are the biggest and most fearful enemy to energy consumption.
Okay.
Because now they just been to a point where they know exactly what you want to buy. And they just package anything and make any device exactly how you want it to be, to make, just watch the ad, on anything, TV or Instagram or anything, and you just gonna take my money and forget about anything else. And that's probably not a useless device, just like the salt and pepper stuff, but they're gonna package it in a way that you will buy it.
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted to say about our responsibility as consumers to double check and to think about what we are using as energy devices and just think if you really need it before buying it. I mean, you can buy something and not forcingly using it every day. And you can have something cool that works with energy, but just have it, on your corner, somewhere on the shelf, and use it when you need it. Just, splits and divides and, organize your devices with priorities.
Okay, don't forget that our first point was our laziness. And that maybe requires so much work.
To even think and schedule and think about how you...
Yes, and think of all gadgets that we usually buy because it was like the latest cool thing.
I'm going to say I buy some dumb stuff I don't need. I bought, label printer that has a battery and you can recharge it with Type C, etc.
You could write the labels.
I mean,
sticker.
It's useful. It's useful because I like, I have a lot of electronics and stuff and I like to put labels on them. But I recharge it every day.
And you can use a pen and stickers and write down.
Yeah, I know.
Energy efficient. Don't need to buy new stuff.
But they're less cooler and writing skills are spent. So, I mean, the printer is very cool, useful, and I recharge it every day because I just want to make sure that it's gonna be working and it's fully recharged when I need it.
Now you are putting the blame, and I partially agree with you, but you are putting the blame at 100% on the consumer and the marketing teams. But the marketing teams are paid for making, products looks appealing. They can tell you, so this is our new phone. We just changed the color and added $100. Buy it, please. They need to tell you, oh, it's AI powered with our new 4K screen.
And there's a button. You can push the button and have AI on your phone.
The hunger we are going outside of the energy, etc., but the hunger for technology and the fact that smartphones are reaching an end, just see how these shitty AI scams, like the shitty AI devices, the rabbit stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And the other one with the projector.
Yeah.
When we saw the rabbit stuff, what's the name? AI rabbit or something?
Yeah, I think it's Rabbit One or something.
Yeah. When we saw it, we felt that it was a scam. So this looks as shitty as hell. I'm sure there is something shitty behind it and it will blow up and people will see that there's nothing behind it.
And that's exactly what happened.
Exactly. But before that, before people started to order it, mentally dig inside and see, okay, there is no large action model behind it. There is no real...
That was ChatGPT and, API bridging software that were, bridging the ChatGPT with other services that, makes them try to get Spotify or whatever it is.
Yeah. And these two companies reached almost $1 billion in valuation like this overnight.
Mm-hmm.
And people started to think, okay, now a new generation of AI-powered native device are, fluid in the market. It's a new revolution, etc., etc. This hunger for a new technology pushed these people. Maybe they didn't have, say, bad intentions to scam. Yeah. They just built a kind of technology duct tape to combine some available stuff and deliver you like what you wanted.
Yeah.
But the frenzy around it made these companies super, super overvalued.
Mm-hmm.
When in fact, they didn't bring anything on the table.
Absolutely.
The other device, the projector, where you put like your hand like this and you have the answer, the text on your hand.
Yeah, that was a Kickstarter project.
And now they were valued at some billions. And now the returns per day are exceeding the deliveries. So people are returning the device saying, okay, what you showed me in the video, it was CGI and the device don't work like this at all. And so you put the blame on the end user when in fact, maybe it's also collective mistake or a collective move towards this kind of waste, etc. Condition.
I mean, yeah, that's probably the case, but if it's in fact the case, we have been conditioned to this. And we have been, if we've been conditioned to this, it's because of our need for abundance. Our need for abundance and for, more, always asking for more.
Yes, but maybe also that the old paradigm that we used to have was centralization. And everything that we built was following this logic of centralization, like our energy grid, our water, etc. And
just like our phones manages everything today, that's another kind of, centralization.
Yeah.
This episode was brought to you by Zero, the Swiss Army knife of energy, the only power bank that you can reuse, scale, customize, and keep. We are opening the private beta test for Zero with 100 seats. Get yours at 90% off. Visit nomorezero.com.
So we're back after a little unexpected break. Yeah, we were talking about, you've been saying that I was putting on all the weight of the unmanaged energy inefficiencies, etc., on the consumer side, and you seems to have an idea about they being not totally innocent, but some other tiers have responsibilities to.
Yeah, totally. Like when you take our society as a whole, everything is centralized and following the same paradigm of centralization, where our energy, our water, even our waste.
Yeah.
We need to collect our waste, etc., grab them, take them to a central space, etc. It was efficient as long as we had small cities, small towns, etc. But with megapoles, it gets like a real problem. On the other side, same thing for at a global scale. We have one big factory, which is China, that produces everything and dispatched to the world.
Yeah, that reminds me of the famous quote that says, God created the universe and China did everything else.
We are sold to the idea of smart cities that will solve all these problems, when in fact, every time you see in the news a smart city project, it's a lot of glitter and a lot of announcement about technology, and you see skyscrapers everywhere, everything is in glass, etc., like Blade Runner.
That's definitely Blade Runner vibes, cyberpunk vibes, etc. Like when I hear about smart cities, first thing I can think about is having Amazon Alexa on the subway, and ordering your food whenever you are without don't need to be in a fast food or something. Just push your phone and you have food that is delivered by drones, etc.
Exactly, and for me, this is a misconception. Because, well, once again, from a marketing perspective, it's easier to sell. And when you see, okay, smart cities will have flying taxis and you will have...
they have cyber trucks.
And everything will be in one skyscraper and AI and robotic managing everything, etc. When in fact, for me, a smart city should be first smart. And a city, meaning a place where people live, and the place is smart to optimize their living. It should be optimizing their energy, their water management, and their waste management, putting human first.
Yeah.
And not having robots and AI managing everything and, vehicles that are flying around, etc., chasing time again. And it should not be something outstanding from a visual standpoint.
Yeah.
It should be something really optimized for us. And some little tricks, if we painted or if our roads were lighter, like in a white shade, we would reduce the temperature of our cities by at least 3 to 5 degrees.
Damn.
So imagine if we knew that when we started to build roads, like we took time, well, we didn't have technology to know it, but imagine if we took time to build like a 1 kilometer road and analyze the impact of this road on the environment, on the temperature, etc., how it heats during the day, how it tore the heat and heat during the night too, etc. We think, okay, let's build some kind of material that will be lighter and use it for our roads. And we will cool down our cities.
I mean, shocked by this, this vision, because makes me think that definitely the brainstorming behind it was definitely wrong, because we know about optics and the reflection of materials and their ability to, absorb the electromagnetic spectrum and heat, etc., since decades, since, centuries now. And that's definitely something that somebody could think of way before.
Yeah. So, I don't know if it's a kind of mass effect. Like we didn't expect the roads to be so mainstream. Maybe I thought, okay, we have like 100 cars. Let's build these roads for these 100 cars, and everyone else will stay on horses, etc., for like at least like 500 years.
Yeah.
And same things for, many other, well, talk about transportation, etc., like using diesel generators on boats and then asking you to switch to electric vehicles as a person.
Yeah.
And people, I can understand this feeling of people that at the end, it's kind of unfair. Like the world is still spinning the way it is, people doing their stuff, and they are asking us on a personal level to make the effort.
Yeah.
Which should make sense in a way, because, the society is the sum of us as individuals.
Yeah.
But at a personal level, take the example of EVs. Like, when you see in Europe, they are very bullish on EVs. They put bonuses on EVs, etc., but they remain highly expensive. I compared the same brand with the EV version of the same car, and it was at least twice the price. And I started to think, like, okay, the EV, from a technical standpoint, is less expensive than the regular car. You see, it's like 4 wheels, 1 electric motor, and the battery.
Mm-hmm.
You increase the current, you accelerate, you decrease the current, you decelerate. On the other side, when you take the number of spare parts needed to build
standard vehicle,
and the number of suppliers, third parties, etc., the price should be more expensive. And then I started digging in the first and the biggest market for EV, which is China.
Mm-hmm.
And in China, diesel cars are more expensive than electric cars, which makes sense.
Yeah.
And you take the electric cars in Europe, they put a lot of gadgets inside to make them look sci-fi and justify the price. When in fact, a car is not multimedia station, entertainment, etc. It's a car.
Yeah, definitely, especially when you think about the fact that most people will use it to drive home to work, work to home, like probably 20, 30 minutes of, being in the car each day. So you don't need all that.
Yeah. Plus, at the end, it doesn't justify the price. Like somebody told me, look how big the screen of Tesla is. It's like $300 tablet.
Yeah.
End of the story.
Yeah.
The price should not grow by X thousand. It should grow by, let's say, double the price. 300, you increase it by 600, not 6,000.
Yeah. I mean, if you need a tablet in your car, just buy a tablet.
Yeah.
And nobody's driving and watching Netflix.
Well, yes, sometimes.
And some people do, but that doesn't mean that it's something that you should do. So,
And yeah, so at the end, you feel, okay, it's unfair at the personal level to make the effort, but we need to at a certain stage. And maybe the technology, well, the future of technology should be aligning our interests, our financial interests, and the common good.
Yeah.
For example, let's take the example of EVs. If we had like a very simple car, simple electric car, that is 30% cheaper than the cheapest diesel car, it will be a no-brainer.
Yeah.
And people will buy it because, okay, like, especially when it's a small car, like where you need to commute from, work to home, etc., with a 500 kilometers range, or no, 500, it's a lot actually, but maybe a 200 kilometers range.
Yeah.
Where you can spend like your day commuting, etc. You put chargers at work, chargers near your home, etc. And if it costs like 30% less than diesel generator, not diesel generator, 30% less.
You better not have diesel generators.
Have you seen the guy, the Tesla and the diesel generator in the back?
Yeah, and actually that diesel generator was a Honda.
Yeah. And you know what's the crazy thing? The next generation of EVs will have a diesel generator in the back to charge the battery.
Yeah.
And it started in China. And people seem to love it because now, like, they discovered how to charge electricity, and now they can fill in a gas tank as an emergency to charge the battery just in case.
Yeah, I mean, probably there's some math to be done there, but they probably pay way less for filling a diesel tank than, paying for the electricity.
Oh, depends on the country. Like some countries does.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, and especially having EV will makes you pay less taxes. So you have less taxes, you have an EV, and you pay the normal fuel to charge your car. That's, yeah.
They discovered that the number one here preventing people from buying electric vehicles was the fear of running out of battery.
Yeah.
Where, if you don't have any more gas in your tank, happened to us, you can go walking or take a taxi or etc., fill in a jerry can of diesel, go back to your car, fill it in, and that's it. And you can do this with an electric vehicle.
Yeah. I mean, at some point you can have probably some kind of UPS, like an emergency battery that you can have constantly charged and have it at your back.
You could do that
in the trunk, etc. But I'm not aware of any EV that has this kind of technology ready to be, like plug and play.
Yeah.
You probably have to, use any kind of UPS that is probably calibrated for AC current, like all UPSs are set for AC current. And so does the energy efficiency drops because it's, transforming AC to DC to charge the car. And it's not going to be very efficient to charge your car. That's probably why people are using diesel generators.
But that would have been totally possible with swappable battery.
Yeah.
Where you could, imagine if maybe, Tesla and what's the Chinese brand that is taking over the world? BYD.
Oh.
You know what BYD stands for? Build your dream.
Oh, that's awesome. And I've seen that the logo is, bright red and, glowing in the night. And that's awesome. It's the first time I see, a car that has this kind of features.
Maybe they could take this example. Like, it would have been nice to have a little swappable 48-volt battery inside your car.
Yeah.
Replacing the wheel, the kind of spare wheel that you have.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be, doesn't have to be the same autonomy than the entire car. Can be the half or quarter that it is.
Yeah, even like, 20 kilometers.
Yeah.
And worst case scenario, it's something that you can, put out your car. It can trigger your car run out of energy, but you can also pull it out of your car, not to any door, any store, etc. Charge it.
Yeah. Maybe this vision is a little bit biased by our own experience living in cities, but if I take in considerations, for example, driving from city to another city, like from state to another state, like driving from, Texas to I don't know, any by-side state. If you are out of energy in the middle of the road, in the middle of nowhere, and the closest thing is at, probably 100 kilometers or something, that's definitely a very reasonable reason to, fear the fact of, being out of autonomy.
Exactly. Taking one step ahead in your product design brought me to how we built Lipo.
Yeah.
Do you remember how it started?
We need to make a battery that can be operated by anyone.
Yeah, but no, that's the official version of the story.
Oh, we're doing the unofficial version here?
Yeah.
All right. Oh, that's it. Yeah. Now we can speak.
When it started really as a kind of casual discussion about something sci-fi, where we thought, like, imagine if we can build a battery that is so simple to build that it can be done fully automatically. And then we started with this battery will power up its own factory, and we will have self-replicating batteries in spaceships.
Inspired by the Stargate episode of the replicas.
Yeah.
Tiny robots that can, replicate themselves by using their own parts. And yeah, it's all started like that. And he has been drawing tiny diagrams, the yellow post-its stuff. He's been sending me pictures of the post-its, and I had to design that on 3D CAD models.
But the first thing, it was a very dirty design at 2 a.m. in the morning.
During the COVID lockdown.
Yeah. And when I showed him like the first design, he told me, no, it's not feasible. It will be too complicated, too complex, not feasible, etc. And then he started to ping me like, look, I found a way. And all our process was like this. Like, I come up with some, very approximate, because the technical guy is him. I'm not so technical. I have like basic knowledge.
Is the imagination guy.
No, like, if you trained a monkey to be an electrical engineer, that would be me. So
he imagines stuff, and I'm the guy that needs to match the reality with what he imagines.
And he always starts with, no, it's not feasible. And then he thinks, and no, I find a way. And we challenge each other. But from the day zero, when we imagined the battery itself, we implemented, in our thought process, all, let's say, the dark side of the batteries. We took them in consideration. I thought, okay, we've been working in the battery industry for the last decade, and we saw this, and we use what's existing as a learning curve for our own stuff.
Yeah.
And that's maybe the difference between a maker and somebody with an academic methodology.
Probably because if I have to compare both sides, as I've worked in both sides, in the past, being in an academic team environment, etc., a lot of ideas and a lot of, things you imagine, etc., are killed in the egg just by the hypothesis. Because just by thinking about something, somebody's gonna say, or yourself will think about it in a hypothesis way and say, okay, this will, I don't know, not work with this, and this is impossible to do, etc. And you will just, kill the idea in the egg before giving it any chance to come to this universe. And that's very sad.
Exactly. And I was also impressed by how little was the time between the sketch and the number, like the zero mark, the first ever prototype. It took us like a matter of weeks.
Weeks, yeah, definitely. Yeah, from the little sketch in the post-it to the 3D printed version entirely working, having all the right characteristics with the minimal requirements we have been designed for that battery. It was, I think it was like 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah, completely. Like, I think like it took us like maybe 2-3 sessions of brainstorming, covering like the basics. And then we bought some 3D printers, some stuff, some spare parts, etc. And we started implementing, experimenting, and we had this first prototype. And for me, when you start like testing the first prototype, it was a game changer because I could see the battery in 3D, not the 3D on the screen, but in real life. And this creation process is highly effective because we didn't try to cover all the risks and all the difficulties, etc., upfront.
Yeah.
But we was like, okay, this is the prototype. We'd start, okay, oh shit, it's overheating. Get up the current.
It was overheating and it was doing a lot of stuff it wasn't supposed to do, but yeah.
And then, okay, it's overheating, etc. We need to iterate on this part.
Yeah.
And the same thing on the mounting system, where the first version, we discovered that a person with no, let's say,
technical skills, let's say,
could mount it in a reverse current and cause damage. Things that happens. It happens a lot, actually, because even when you have like a plus and a minus engraved in a battery.
Yeah, well, sometimes even when you have the plus and minus engraved, etc., and I'm not going to say I'm an expert, but I have pretty much of advanced technical experiments in the field, and it happens to me. Yeah. I put things in reverse polarity and I fry them.
And the magic smoke happens.
And the magic smoke appears. So we had to find a way to make batteries that you can mount without any risk to, have electrical shock yourself.
Yep.
Not having electrical plugs that are, on the surface where you can, put your fingers, etc., when it's in operation or not, because even if it's low current, it's still current. And
exactly.
Yeah. We don't want people to have that, between their fingers. And all this had to be brainstormed way before and bring the first prototype.
But to get back to ecosystemic theme, we were clear about what we don't want to have in our batteries. The materials, the recyclability, the fact that it was reusable. Like, for me, one of the biggest challenges is to make the reusable part easy.
Yeah.
Well, and it's a big part of our patent, but still, the patent is a protection. It's not, for me, we don't have any reason to brag about it, but we were clear to implement these upfront because we had this learning curve of 100 years of batteries not evolving. And people in other fields could do the same. For example, I don't see why we still build our water dams and electric grids and highways, and even our agriculture, etc. The same way again and again. And
All legacy technology.
yeah. And now we know, like we've been farming for, depending on the theory, but let's say we've been farming for the last 100,000 years.
Yeah.
We improved it greatly. Like we mastered
Yeah.
plants and on animals in a way that is mind blowing. But still, the basics are the same. We improve with some makeup, hi to Monsanto, but some makeup to grow things faster, bigger, etc. At the end, we are not addressing the real problem, which is we are more and more in this planet. We can't produce more and more because at the end, maybe we are consuming 20%, 30% of what we produce.
I think so.
And the rest goes to the trash. Like I saw videos about the selection of vegetables and, where when the wholesale people go to a farm, they requires a certain tomato shape and all the rest is considered as not suitable for human consumption.
Mhm.
Well, at the end, I'm eating the tomato. I'm not marrying to the tomato. Like I'm not dating a tomato. I don't need it to be appealing. And same thing for all the vegetables, etc. Eggs. If an egg got like a weird color, can happen. Sometimes they like dark on one side. It's still totally edible, but it goes away.
Yeah.
So we throw a lot of things, and the only way we are addressing our increasing need for food, for example, just to take the food, is to produce more.
Yeah.
Land is limited, water is limited, etc. So we are using artificial ways to push the plant to produce more.
Yeah.
With less nutriment. Yeah, so that's
like in anything else. I mean, if it's designed and even if it's naturally set to produce at this ratio, we can definitely bump it to produce more, but not without critically injure it or break it, etc. We are just accelerating the decay of that thing. It can be electronic devices or natural devices, natural habitats and environments.
Yeah.
Well, we've said that it will be an hour podcast. Maybe we've made a little bit more. So let's thank you all for, listening to us, coming to see us if you are watching this video on YouTube, if you are listening to us on Spotify or SoundCloud, or I don't know if we're going to set this podcast in any other platform. Hit the subscribe button, like and follow, and thank you for discovering us.
Yeah, and if you are willing to join the movement and build something, have some technical knowledge, internet is your best friend. Buy a 3D printer and start playing around and building stuff.
Ask us for advices. We are joinable, and yeah, we give free advice.
Yeah.
We're not sending any training or anything else like that. Thank you.
Thanks. And until then, take care and see you soon.
Bye-bye.